Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Free Speech on Air. My name is Francis Capelli and I'm reporting out of the Netherlands, otherwise known as the Kingdom of Apathy, the capital of insanity. And before I'm going to tell you what I know about Alex Jones, I have to tell you some other things first. Right? I will do that in the best English I can come up with. Told you before that this is not my natural language. I have to basically translate Dutch thoughts into this sound that might be sufficient enough to get the point across. That's my aim, that's my goal. I basically stopped addressing the Dutch in their own language. I basically quit it. I basically put a stop to free speech on air in Dutch because they lost all sense. My language apparently became an inadequate tool. It's not usable anymore. It's like they lost the ability of context and understanding honest, simple, and plain messages. My show, if you could call it a show, but let's do that. Let's, for argument's sake, call it a show. This show, this Free Speech on Air, was about certain observations that I made according, in relation to this world that we live in today. And, well, sometimes it helps to come up with an analogy to make people understand what it is that you're trying to tell. Let's picture a guy somewhere in a bar, let's say in Milwaukee. And he sits there, and there is this other guy approaching him, and they start talking, and there's this immediate click. And they talk about the trouble that this world is in. The financial trouble. And one of the guys says, well, I've got this plan. I don't know if it will work, but let's talk about it some more. Invites the other guy to his house, right? He gives him a beer or two and they start talking again. And imagine this, one of the guys, he doesn't know it yet, but he's there on the couch in this unknown living room together with this perfect stranger that starts to elaborate on his plans. And he's not aware that he's in this, that he basically shares the living room with Jeffrey Dahmer. But during the conversation, he starts to pick up certain signals. He starts to pick up this gut feeling that there is this impending danger. There's something incredible evil about the man that still talks to him in a normal way, a friendly way. While evil is crawling up towards the surface, this guy is able to pick up that very fact. He's able to pick up this imminent danger. And before Jeffrey Dahmer can even begin to do what he normally does, this guy suddenly jumps out of his chair, right, out of the couch. He makes a run for it. A run, well, I can imagine the kind of run that he makes. It makes the Olympics look like, well, child's play, I guess. He's running, crashing through the front door of that building, and he keeps running until he encounters a police officer, tells them that this guy was willing to, that this guy was, basically planning to kill him. And that was the end of Jeffrey Dahmer. Really happened. It's a true story. Now, the point of the analogy that I just gave you is that what good would this knowledge, this sense of impending danger, had done if the guy would have chosen to stay where he was? You see, the information that's out there, I'm talking about the information that people like Alex Jones and others are bringing forward, bringing under our attention, right? The information is out there. And if you are a normal functioning human being, you have this gut feeling that there is this impending danger, that there is this system of evil taking over this planet. But what good does it do? If you choose to sit there like so many others, like the millions upon millions upon millions of others, glued to their screen in a hypnotized fashion, waiting for a new story, a new war, a new conspiracy to pop up. This thing, if you are in the business of spreading information, critical information about a global takeover by sociopaths, psychopaths, people that have no conscience whatsoever, if you're in the business of spreading that information, you're just in a business spreading info, that's all. Doesn't make you special, but it's important. We need people like that. We need people that not only have the time, but also possess the connections close to those who are in power, that are able to speak out. We need the information. That's critical, that's key. There's no debate on that, not in this show, believe me. I'm not going to argue about that, the importance of it all. But diagnosing cancer does not make it disappear, does not make you healthy. And here is where the problem comes into play, ladies and gentlemen. Why is it that all those mighty news outlets, I'm talking about the real news outlets, I'm not talking about that mainstream media pulp, I'm talking about the real news outlets, why is it that they did not build some kind of infrastructure, some kind of fund, if you like, Why is it that they did not put money in there together with their audience? Because Alex Jones has a lot of people that are watching his show one time or another. Why is it that there is no centralized money to be found other than in the pockets of those neocons? If we would create a structure, a people's fund, let's call it for argument's sake a people's fund, right? If we would create a fund, we could use that money to break the very essence, to break the soul, the spirit of silence. You know how many people don't dare to speak out because of the fact that they are gonna lose their income. And there's no help out there. There's no organized thing that they can go to and say, listen, we are willing to fight this battle. I'm willing to speak out. But if I'm on the streets, if I end up broke, what good does it do? We need an army that is able to stand. We don't need 10 million people homeless without a base. We need an army that is actually capable of fighting back, right? But here we are in this strange world that more and more starts to look like the imagination of the writers of Pulp Fiction. I see two groups in this world. The so-called dummies in this hypnotized state of trance in front of their television screens, hypnotized by their sports stars, their favorite actors, their soap operas. And then there is this other group, a huge group, that calls itself awake, but it's glued to the screen of a computer, in a state of trance, hypnotized, waiting, observing, waiting. There's this constant demand of evidence, of new evidence. There's this constant demand of new conspiracies. We need more proof. We need more evidence. We need evidence to back up the evidence. And then we need some more evidence to back up the backup evidence of the evidence that we started out with. And so on and so on. We are this kind of knowledge, the knowledge that was spread, the InfoWars, the essence, the soul of InfoWars, became a virus of insanity in most cases. It became a virus, a mental illness, a sickness. I told you, showing you my burning house is not going to extinguish the fire, right? You have to be mentally ill to believe that. Mentally ill. You have to be insane. Exposing whatever we expose bears no remedy. Knowledge is only as good as it gets. We need to act on it. But we are not able to act. We are not able to break the silence of the majority because there is no infrastructure. We have nothing to offer them. This show, Free Speech on Air, deals a lot with subjects like these, right? I'm not a popular guy. I know that this thing doesn't make me popular. It doesn't make me the kind of guy that they want to invite to come and talk about UFOs and the alien race and the reptilians and falsified ancient history and shower me with money like they normally do. And this is because of the simple fact that they can't handle the simple truth that all those things were put out there to create this state of hypnosis, the state of trance, to keep them there right in front of their computers and their keyboards until it is too late. I'm looking for a response out of my audience. Some people, I'm looking for the common man, a common guy that starts to think about it. And well, maybe we are able to build this bridge. I mean, I put in all my efforts to speak your language. But please have the decency to respond, to command. Write a comment, respond, create the interaction that is needed to recognize that this is a no-win situation. It's a no-win situation. This is not going anywhere. All that, that pumping around of critical information, it's not going to lead us anywhere. The only thing we have to do is look outside our windows, look at the state of our cities, look at the general state, the general health of this planet, and you know it's true. Internet was not a remedy of any kind. It speeded up even. It even speeded up the process. The elite is panicking, really? Are they panicking? Why? Why should they? Why should they panic? They prove to us that they don't need us to elect their leaders, the new leaders. They don't need us to do that. They have those guys already elected. They don't need us to do that. They proved us that they don't need us to work even. They have robots and there's all these wonderful technologies. Those technologies that will create mass unemployment. They don't need us to work. Do they really need us to consume? Really? I don't believe so. I don't believe that they don't need us to consume. They have all the money in the world already. They understood how important it was to connect with each other and to centralize money. My guess is that if 200 million people, and what is 200 million people? But if they would be able to come up with $20 each or $50 each. Now, there's some serious money. We could buy a little army. We could create a fund. We could spend money instead of making more documentaries or expanding our message. We could put the money in real use, breaking the core of silence, this beast of silence, this state of submission, because people would know there is actually something out there that works. It works. It's there. It's manifest, right? Now, I promise you, and then I'm gonna leave you to it, sort it out amongst yourselves. My favorite monkeys, huh? I'm going to tell you this, what I know about Alex Jones. No matter what they say about Alex Jones, whether he is a CIA asset, or he is this, or he is that, or he is this double agent, whatever you might say, whatever you might think of Alex Jones, he's right in their faces. Right in their faces. He's there where the Bilderbergers are. He's confronting police officers. He goes into the public, even into the kind of public that hates him. And he's there and he's not backing down. To me, that means Alex Jones is a solid guy. He really believes in what he says. That's what I believe. We don't have to agree on everything, but let us agree that we need this critical infrastructure, that we need a people's fund, if you like, and let us agree that having the information, absorbing all that dirt, well, bears no remedy. Francis Capelli, Free Speech on Air.